On today's episode of Titus and Tate, are you there, God? It's me, Penny Hardaway.
Yes.
Memphis prayers are answered. God has the Memphis Tigers after all, Tate.
God's plan 2.0.
It might be.
Yeah.
Memphis, just when we were done, like they were so dead.
You know what God said back to Penny? He said, bench Emoni. Bench Emoni.
Emoni's not a point guard. He's not ready. Just when we were Memphis was so dead, I was done even throwing dirt on them. I think
you weren't even watching them.
I wasn't even watching.
You were like, I
didn't even watch the game. Yeah, I didn't even watch I had to go back and watch the Bama game because I was like, I'm done with this team. I'm not going to watch them. Just when you give up.
Yeah.
There's signs of life, Tate. The Memphis Tigers beat Alabama, the 6th-ranked team in the country, and they beat them pretty emphatically. And we're going to talk about that because it's not just that they won. It doesn't really feel like a fluke-ish.
Yeah. Well,
assuming they stick with.
We're going to talk all about it. But Penny told us that there was a divide in the locker room between the veterans and the youth. Yes. And the veterans finally won.
Yes.
And this is good news for Larry Brown, and it's great news for God and Penny Hardaway.
But will it stick moving forward, or is this just like a one-time thing against Alabama? We don't know.
Which is the age-old question, blip or bomb?
We do not know. Also on the program, it is Fraud Friday. I have a ton of frauds to work with. Everyone in the ACC is basically on Fraud Watch, by the way. Like everyone. Not everyone. Carolina's all right. You guys are playing all right.
Duke and Carolina.
I think, are safe, but basically everybody else in the ACC is on Fraud.
And if UCLA forfeits, then North Carolina gets another quad 1 win.
That's true. They're supposed to play Saturday. That's a great point. Maybe BYU's on there. I don't know. They've been sneakily sucking ever since I said they were a top 10 team.
Maybe we overrated them.
Yeah.
Maybe
Purdue makes an appearance. Maybe Villanova after that performance.
Butler this weekend, by the way, for Purdue.
Yeah.
Bad matchup, potentially.
We're gonna go through all the frauds. There's a lot to hash out. And also we have a special treat today for the listeners at home that we'll get to at the top. We'll just say it at the top of the show. We'll get to all of it, but first.
Woody Durham.
All right, out of the gate, let's hit the big news of the day, which is that one of the people involved with this show has a birthday, and it's not Uri. It's the only other man that we allow to speak on the show that we give a microphone to. His name is Jim. His name is Jim Cunningham.
AKA Maui Jim. AKA Jimbo.
The eyes are ones on Twitter. It is his birthday, and he is how old, Jim? How old are you officially telling people you are?
I am 28. On Tinder. 28 on Tinder.
As the 40 balloons in the background.
40 years old.
Baby. It's his Harrison Barnes year.
You're class of 04. That's what that is, right?
Yeah.
That was,
college.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Jim. So just wanted to say that out of the gate. We're going to give you your own segment. That's our birthday present.
Thank you very much. That's a great present for the listeners.
Yeah, they're going to love it.
Yeah. What about me? Thank you.
We're gonna let Jim before the show's up. Like we're trying to hatch a new segment for Jim where he can just decide whatever.
Besides the Donda updates, because
Donda updates aren't for Jim. They're for us.
They're for everybody.
I have a big Donda update though, just to let you know.
Oh, that's.
Do you want to do it now?
No, it's
okay. All right, we'll save it.
Yeah. Let's keep the people listening.
Let's do the Donda update of college basketball, of the Donda of college basketball, which is basically the Memphis Tigers.
Yes.
Like Donda is the Donda of high school basketball.
I like that.
Memphis is kind of the Donda of
I could see Donda and Memphis like somehow having an agreement that comes together at some point, in the near future where they are funneling players, one player per year to Memphis specifically.
Yes.
They have one Tiger. Yeah. One Tiger recruit on their team. We could get there.
It makes a lot of sense. So Memphis beats Alabama 92-78. It was not a particularly close game. It was a game. If you didn't watch, if you were like me and you swore off Memphis basketball for the rest of the year, and did not watch this game, I had to go back and watch it on DVR. And I did. I pat myself on the back for that. I did my job and went back and had to figure out how the hell this happened. Very chaotic game, Tate. I was surprised by that. I was surprised that Alabama fell into Memphis's trap because Memphis, for all the jokes we made about them all season and how big of a disaster they are, and they led the country in turnovers at one point.
They were like averaging 20 turnovers a game. Yeah.
There's a ton of individual talent on that team, which is why we're talking about them in the first place. Which is why they were a preseason top 10 team, because of all the talent that they had. So with that, where Memphis thrives, if there was ever a scenario where Memphis was going to look good, it was in a game that like felt like an AAU game where everyone's just running around and there's chaos. That seems like an environment where Memphis basketball can thrive.
Yes.
Now, Alabama likes to play up tempo. Alabama likes to shoot a ton of threes. Alabama likes a brand of basketball that is the cousin of AAU, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like an organized AAU type
Mhm.
environment. So what happened in this game, from my perspective, was that Alabama was trying to play their brand, which is up tempo. Memphis is like, we love this, and we're going to introduce a little dash of chaos. And Alabama didn't realize that there was chaos to this game until it was too late, and then Memphis won. That was pretty much what happened.
Yeah, and the real chaos in this game was that we learned that Memphis has a real basketball team hidden behind the facade of the Emoni Bates era at Memphis, and it's a basketball team that we saw play, and it's Memphis State. And Memphis State, totally different team. I don't know who Memphis is. I think we can just write off Memphis, but Memphis State, they should stick with the jerseys for the rest of the year. They should go as MSU. It's good for Emoni Bates, good for the brand.
That is true.
He committed to MSU.
He did great. He committed to MSU.
So he actually never broke his word. So that's good to see for Emoni Bates, but also totally different team with him off the floor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the real conversation.
That's the conversation we need to
because Duren was great, and we can talk about Jalen Duren because he was a real impact player, and he meshed with the vets like Landers Nolly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like those two guys, you're like, I can see this working out. But Emoni Bates might be coming off the bench, right? He might be anchoring the second unit for Memphis.
If Emoni Bates starts, they got Tennessee next, right?
December 18th.
And I already know it's going to happen. I already know Emoni Bates is still going to start. But if Penny Hardaway was an actual basketball coach, Emoni Bates would not start in this game.
I think Larry Brown has put in his ear that he has to. I mean, Emoni plays 15 minutes in this game.
Yeah, and this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. It's not like Memphis won in spite of it. Emoni Bates didn't play 15 minutes because he was in foul trouble. Emoni Bates didn't play 15 minutes because he rolled his ankle and they were nursing it and they didn't know how effective he would be. This is not a coincidence. They won the game so emphatically because Emoni Bates played 15 minutes.
And DeAndre Williams played amazing. You know, I mean, as far as like the energy that he brought to this game, and he's the leading scorer for Memphis with 20 points. I mean, they have a unit.
They have a team.
Actually win Memphis State.
And what's interesting is Penny, like 1 week ago, however long ago it was, I remember the quotes where he was like, our problem right now, when he was throwing his team under the bus, he's like, our problem right now is our veterans don't trust that, like, they're jealous of the young guys. They're jealous that the young guys get the opportunities. And now I was watching the Alabama game and I'm just thinking of that quote and I'm like, yeah, no shit, they're jealous, dude. Like, you give Emoni Bates the longest leash possible, and he's not. I mean, I don't want to kill Emoni Bates too much because he's 17 years old and he's supposed to be like a junior in high school right now and all that. But Emoni Bates is not ready for college basketball, much less the NBA. That was, as I was watching this game, and Mike Schmitz, God love Mike Schmitz, great dude. He's a great guy. I wish him well in his career and his life. I would love to not see Mike Schmitz on my television talking about prospects in the middle of a good game. Yeah. Every single time ESPN does a game. I love Mike. Nothing against Mike, and I know his bosses are telling him, get on here and talk about Emoni and Jalen.
It is really
JD Davison and all these guys. But yeah, having Mike Schmitz come on and talk about Emoni Bates is like how he's going to translate to the next level and his potential at the next level. And I'm like, dude, can we talk about this level? He's not ready for this level. He's not even, that's not even a bit. Like, he is not a good college basketball
player. It cuts to a highlight package. It's like, Emoni Bates' first step is elite.
Yes.
Like highlights of him like ripping through at practice.
Yeah. No, like this is what I guess. I mean, Emoni's camp, quote unquote, his father, the hoopla around him, it's a little bit brought on himself. Like, so this idea that we've hyped him up to be this, it's not like this kid just put his head down and was like, I just want to play basketball. Like, all the people around him have created the situation that have led to this point where, like, we're all eyes are locked on
the next LeBron James.
Yes, and he's being called the next LeBron James. But I think that's ultimately where the issue is like all of the hype and all of the discussions, and even now, even in spite of watching him play 15 minutes, and he's very clearly the biggest liability that Memphis has, you still hear people talking about like how he's going to translate to the next level and where he's going to get drafted and who does he model his NBA game after. And I'm pulling my hair out watching this because I seriously believe this, Tate. If I was coaching Memphis, I would play Emoni Bates 15 minutes a game. He's not ready for college basketball. And that's not me like hating on the kid. It's just like, that's a simple fact. He tries to do too much. He's not really great at anything.
Yeah.
And Memphis has talented guys on that team, and they could be a decent team. And it's like, it's very frustrating to watch.
But let's be quite honest. If Emoni Bates is who is coming off your bench and anchoring your second unit,
yes,
you're an elite
that's
team.
That's a great position for him as well. You want to talk about like not putting too much pressure on him. Make him come off the bench. Tell him like, Emoni, we don't need you to score 25 points for us to be good.
No.
We need you to give us good minutes. You ever heard of a guy named Marvin Williams? That's what I would say. Remember him?
I honestly believe that Larry Brown might say that.
Yeah,
there's a real good chance that might happen. I do think that if Emoni comes off the bench and you tell him he can still have the green light that he had, like you don't take away his green light. You just take away.
You tone it down a little bit.
Well, of course, but like
you dim it a little. You dim the green light.
You obviously he is alerted to that by the fact that he's not playing as much. But if you let him anchor that second unit and you let Duren be the star, he can be a star on this team.
Duren's awesome.
He's amazing.
He's awesome.
And you saw it in this game kind of click a little bit with him. And I mean, after the game when they won, I mean, he was going crazy celebrating, right?
Yeah.
Like you could tell that it impacted him,
right?
And he's excited and he's locked in and he's a top 5 talent, right? So they have the pieces now. Dude. Like I bought back in at the end of this game, and Rasheed was great. At the end of the game, he's swag surfing. Larry Brown is coaching every single play. I don't think the players are listening to him, but they were celebrating like they get a dunk or whatever. And Larry Brown's like, get back. And then Shackelford hit a 3 twice in a row, and Larry Brown was like, I'm good, get back. And the third time, he just sat down the bench.
Larry Brown's going to get ejected from one of these games.
And no one's listening to him. But he's telling them what they need to, like, someone needs to listen.
He's going to get ejected for yelling at his own players. The refs are going to toss.
Like,
he's yelling so many curse words, the refs think he's cussing him out.
Yeah, he's like, not you.
Talking to Emoni.
Yeah.
No, I watching this game, I realize I'm at the point where I am going to do my best to tone down Emoni Bates jokes because it's no longer funny to me anymore.
It's not funny.
It's not funny. It's
not
serious business. But no, that is a conversation we should be having. It's like this kid is not ready for it, and I don't say that with the hint of sarcasm or
but what 17-year-old kid has ever been ready?
Right.
I mean, I don't know
about James.
Well, he didn't go to college. He didn't go to college. I'm talking about college basketball at 17, right? I mean, who? Maybe KG, maybe LeBron. Like those are guys that could go and do that. But like,
it's hard. Yeah,
it's hard.
So moving forward, if Penny treats his team like an actual college basketball team, trying to win games and not as a vehicle to get guys drafted or to like build a brand at Memphis.
Well,
Memphis could be decent. Memphis could be a decent team. But it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it.
If Emoni gets benched, I can promise you this: there's a chance that he goes from being a Tiger to a Wildcat.
He just
Kentucky.
Transfers. What is the rule?
If he gets benched at Memphis, I think he goes to Kentucky for next year, and that's his second year.
Where was he
eligible for the draft?
Where was the other schools? He was considering Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Oregon sucks. I wonder if they're
Michigan State.
He goes back to Michigan State.
Honestly, another team in my head that I could see going for it, Will Wade.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Will Wade's called. He's called.
Yeah.
He saw 15 minutes.
Yeah.
He literally has like a tracker. He's like, if Emoni plays less than 20 minutes, we're calling. He like popped up. It's like 15 minutes. Now he's like,
he built like an algorithm that alerts him.
Yeah, it's his Kim.
Anytime a 5-star plays less than 20 minutes in a game, that's his Kim.
He's the best.
Yeah, that'll be fascinating. What's the rule, by the way, with the you can transfer and play right away? So like our guys, the doomsday scenario that people that don't like that rule kept coming up with was that guys could just transfer a semester and play right away.
Yeah,
at their new schools. Is that actually allowed?
I don't think so.
I need to look that up.
I mean, I think maybe a technicality it could happen, but I don't think it'll be. It's kind of like you saw Lane Kiffin, he said in this video talking about NIL, he said, college football now is free agency.
Yeah.
They just promised he's like Josh Downs, for example, in North Carolina. Apparently he's getting offers like they're like, you get $1 million NIL deal if you come to this school. What?
So what if, what
if someone does that to Emoni Bates?
Memphis plays Tennessee on Saturday. That's their next game.
Yeah.
Tennessee's a good team.
Mm-hmm. I do know that.
Yeah. What if Penny's looking at this and is like, we gotta bench Emoni if we're gonna have a chance to, and Emoni plays 15 minutes this game again. And then we go into, I guess they got a couple other games, I don't know, but then they go into the break, the semester break, and Emoni decides he's transferring. What if Tate? Huh? You thought about that? What if he transfers to Oregon? What Kentucky? What is the funniest place? The funniest place he goes is LSU,
USC.
USC.
So we can be like, how did Andy Enfield do this?
Yeah.
Who is Andy Enfield?
He goes to Jackson State and plays football for Deion Sanders.
That's another NIL thing. I mean, what a wild time we're in, and no one knows.
What if Emoni Bates transfers to Jackson State?
That'd be good.
Just watch the meltdown everybody has.
Howard.
He transfers to Milwaukee and plays with Patrick Baldwin.
Yeah, dream super team. They form a super team.
They're the best 5-win team in the history of college.
They start comparing themselves to the Bucks.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm Middleton, you're Giannis.
What other takeaways do we have from this? What you believe in Memphis now, or are we worried about Alabama?
I mean, I just think Alabama was a little high at 6. I think they're, probably a top 15 team, right?
Yeah.
So I think we know who Alabama is, but I still think Alabama is a scary team in the tournament. Nate Oates seemed very unfazed by this loss. And also, let me just be honest with you. I think Nate Oates gets it, kind of in the NBA. You got to understand this is show business. Like we need the show to help the business. I think that Nate Oates knows and knew going in this game that it's not the worst thing in the world if Memphis gets a quality win over them.
Okay. Here's my problem with that line of thinking and the way Alabama plays, because they do play. If you're thinking of the most modern, the way a modern NBA team plays, and who in college basketball plays that way, it's probably Alabama that closely resembles they're trying to do what NBA teams are trying to do, right? Mm-hmm. And the concern I have for that is that you have now created a situation where Alabama, I said this when they beat Gonzaga, Alabama is the number 1 make shots team in America, where they're variant. They have a wide variance. If they're hitting threes, they're unstoppable. Mm-hmm. If they're not, they can lose games they shouldn't lose.
Yeah.
And that works on the NBA level because come playoff time, first of all, you play 82 games, so like it evens out. It evens out.
Yeah.
Then come playoff time, it's a 7-game series, so you might lose 1 or 2 that you probably shouldn't have lost, but you have time to whatever. And the fear is,
and the game slows down, and
yes, the fear is in an NCAA tournament situation when it's one and done.
When the game slows down, can they handle that?
I don't know, but they are talented as hell.
Yeah.
Davison's awesome. I love that kid.
Mm-hmm.
His fro, and I'm slightly worried about the fro, but it seems to flow back.
It does.
I get nightmares whenever I see guys with big hair because of Elfrid Payton. Like when that became a thing.
His fro is more Kobe White though. It has a nice bounce to it.
Yes. It goes backwards. Yeah. I'm worried about the jump shot. Like if your hair's in the way, because that was Elfrid Payton, right?
Yeah,
he
literally couldn't see out of his right eye. He said I basically was shooting like with one eye. You're like, why?
Get a haircut.
Yeah, why?
No, he's got the coat. You're right, the Kobe White, so it flows back. So I think it's
nice.
I think he'll be all right. So,
yeah.
All right. So here's your Memphis tourney watch update, because I first of all want to officially declare that I'm back in on Memphis in terms of watching them.
Same.
I'm not back in on buying in yet, but I'm back. I will now watch Memphis play.
I'm back into thinking that Memphis is going to make the tournament.
All right. It's going to be interesting. You're not wrong for having that opinion.
I am back in because they're going to wear the Memphis State jerseys. They're going to limit Emoni's minutes. They should start Emoni just for the ego's sake, and then his first shot, whenever he goes up, if he makes it, he stays in. If he misses it, we pull him right out. That's the deal, Like we just take him out.
I like that idea.
If he misses the first shot, we're like, all right, get out,
get him out.
And he knows that's the game,
And then don't play him
because then he's worried about the first shot that he takes because he's like, I got to make the shot. It's got to be a good shot. You know what I mean? Right? Now we're just playing a different game with him. We're playing a 17-year-old game with him. We're like, hey, first shot, if you miss it, you're coming out.
Penny comes out and says that that's the plan for him, and then Vegas has you can bet on this whether Emoni makes his first shot or not.
The shot.
And then every Memphis game, all of America's locked in on Emoni's first shot.
Yeah, honestly,
whether he makes it. I don't think you're wrong for believing Memphis is going to make the NCAA tournament.
It's a quality win.
I'm not sure I agree yet, but that's not that crazy of an opinion. But I was going to say, here's the Memphis tourney watch. They are officially on tourney watch. They're on the bubble. I'm putting them on the bubble already. They're the first team in college basketball that's on the bubble. They got Tennessee on Saturday. I feel like it's a must win. I don't know if it is or not, but I just feel like if you say that, it kind of adds a little emphasis to the game.
And they have a rivalry,
Yes.
I mean, Rick Barnes has said some not so nice things about Penny Hardaway.
Yep.
Penny Hardaway says he has zero respect for that man.
I remember that. I also I remember, has nothing to do with what you just said, but I remember the time they played and the guy took the poop in the concession stand. Remember that?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
Memphis versus Tennessee.
that
And the
was.
guy took a dump behind a concession stand at the arena.
And
that happened.
And Memphis
So-
operates as like an independent operation to the state of Tennessee. You know what I mean? Like they even have Memphis State. Like they operate
Memphis
as a state.
Yeah, they're like Memphis is like the Cincinnati of the state of Tennessee. Where like Cincinnati's that way in Ohio, where Cincinnati and Xavier have their own little thing, and they're their own little corner of Ohio.
Like Louisville and Kentucky.
Yeah, Louisville's a little bit that way. The whole state is Kentucky fans, except for like that little pocket,
like the 30-mile radius.
Yeah, right. So I don't know if it's a must win, but I'm gonna call it a must win because it just makes it seem like it's a,
If they get back-to-back ranked wins, I mean they're back in the top 25.
Yeah.
And if you look at their losses, they're not that bad. Iowa State's number 11 in the country, so that blowout doesn't look as bad. Georgia, obviously, we understand that, but it's a 3-point loss. Mississippi, we obviously understand that, but it's a 4-point loss. I'm wiping them clean. I'm wiping the conscience clean because
that was then. This is now.
This is now.
Yeah.
And they beat the top team in the SEC, even though they lost at the bottom of the SEC. So we know when they really lock in that
That's
they
a great
can play
point.
at that high level. So
That's
you
a great point.
can wipe those away.
By beating Alabama
And
Georgia,
Tennessee and Tennessee,
you
beat the top of the SEC. So you just say
wipe away the
bottom.
That's a great call.
Yeah.
They still play Houston twice. Those could be two good wins they could pick up.
They beat Virginia Tech.
They got to split. Virginia Tech's not a good
They
one.
beat Western Kentucky.
Okay. I think they got to beat Houston at some point. One or the other, probably the home game. And then they cannot afford to lose a single game against the bottom of the American.
They can't lose.
They can't lose to
Temple.
yeah. They can't lose to East Carolina and freaking
Fool. That's the upset. Actually,
Tulane.
East Carolina's the upset.
You can't lose.
As we know, East Carolina is just always waiting in the American for the upset.
But if they beat Tennessee, they're in business. I think they're on the right side of the bubble if they beat Tennessee on Saturday. I think they're back. I think Penny is going to church and is just like,
are we watching?
Singing in the choir.
We're watching, right?
Yeah, we'll watch it.
Okay.
I'll watch it.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, Penny's going to the.
Well, that's right. We're gonna be at the.
We're gonna be in Vegas.
CBS Classic.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'll actually watch it.
We'll be keeping open. Oh, 9 a.m. though. 9 a.m.
Is it 9?
Yeah.
What time's the CBS starts at like noon, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys got the first game.
Yeah. Carolina
maybe
plays UCLA in the first game, but maybe
feels like that game might get canceled.
And then you guys, I mean, it could just be I just go to your game.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about all these games getting canceled.
But if it's a forfeiture, then North Carolina upsets UCLA, another quad one win.
You can't forfeit a non-conference game, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
Forfeiture.
What are they going to do? I don't want to. I really don't want to talk about all these games getting canceled because.
No, we're not going down the slope.
I don't want to. But
it's a slippery slope.
But
sports all around us is
it's. I don't want to talk about.
There's a crack.
I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk.
We're in a snow globe and you just see the crack. You're like,
That's pretty much where we're at.
You're like, I'm hoping that's cool. You know, like, has anyone ever seen that before?
And then some guy comes like walking up. He's like, "Oh yeah, that's been there. That's been there." You're like, "Has it been there?"
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh man. All right. So enough about that.
Yeah.
We do you want to do fraud power ranking?
Yeah, let's do it.
Get into that.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I'm just so glad that Memphis is a character again in this world of college basketball. We thought we lost them, so that's the good news. That's the final.
I agree with you though. They should wear the Memphis State jerseys the rest of the year. They should. They should just change the basketball team should be change its name to Memphis State. Keep the university as Memphis, but go back to Memphis State as the basketball team. Especially because it's hard to the Grizzlies. I feel like people don't call them the Grizzlies; they call them Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is such a city pride for that team.
Yeah. So you
that when you talk about Memphis, you think you're talking about the Grizzlies, but it's hard to. I don't like I've texted Verno before about like what's up with like Memphis sucks or something. I'm talking about the Tigers, and he thinks I'm talking about the Grizzlies. Like, what are you talking about?
He's like, Ja's out.
Yeah,
Ja is hurt.
It's hard to distinguish. So if you have Memphis and Memphis State, it makes it easier.
I like that. Because then you have both your teams and
everybody wins.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it's cool.
All right, fraud power rankings. Let's dive into it. A lot of candidates, as I said. The whole ACC is on fraud watch. So just FYI, if you are an ACC team other than Carolina and Duke, and you do not hear your name called on the fraud power rankings, you are not out of the woods yet. You are still on fraud watch. That does not mean
you're still
all that means is we only had 5 spots. It doesn't mean that you're not a fraud. It means that you're just not one of the top 5 frauds. Just FYI. All right, at number 5, Coach K.
Oh,
we start out strong out of the gate. There are a lot of reasons why, obviously. But I really do hate to do this.
Wow,
to this man
this
on
is-
his farewell tour.
This is unbelievable.
But
You
don't like this.
You're gonna get canceled.
You don't like this.
This is tough.
So Duke had to cancel their game against, who was it? Who were they playing? Cleveland State?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was Cleveland State?
Yeah, I think so.
So Duke had to cancel their game with Cleveland State because Cleveland State had COVID issue. I think it was Cleveland State.
Yeah, COVID.
It's hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
I don't like the crack in the snow.
No, I don't either. I can see it. I can see it growing too. It's like every time I look up, there's more. You know.
Duke had to, anyway. Duke was supposed to play. The game gets canceled because Cleveland State has COVID issues.
Tim Miles sent a little tweet out to Duke.
Well, that's exactly why Coach K is on the fraud power rankings.
Oh.
Because Duke says we need to fill in. We need a makeup game. Is if anyone has a free date and wants to play us, let us know. Tim Miles says we'll play you, and nothing. And then Tim Miles does a follow-up tweet saying, like, what's going on, Duke? We want to play you. Tim Miles is at San Jose State, by the way.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Good guy of the year,
Yeah.
former good guy of the year,
Yes.
still a friend of the program.
Yep.
And also someone that's not afraid of the Blue Devils.
He's not. No. And
No.
he stepped up and he said, I will take your challenge.
Mhm.
We are here. We'll play you. And Coach K said, no, please don't. And they
Too
scheduled
good.
Loyola, Maryland instead. So Coach K.
And that's
and
Saturday.
The Duke
Yeah.
Blue Devils dodging Tim Miles and San Jose State. Couldn't even call him. Couldn't even give him the respect to call him and say thanks, but no thanks. They just straight up ignore him. So number 5 on the fraud power rankings. Duke. They played, right? They played after they beat Ohio State. They played the other day and won. They played like
Yeah, they played South Carolina State.
Yeah. So they're back on the win column. They're not okay.
Paulo Banchero. He had a good game.
They took like 2 weeks off, didn't they?
Yeah.
Good.
Exams.
That's right. They are the only school that
studious.
Yeah.
They're the only school that take exams. That's
I would believe that actually. I would believe that they're the only school that like actually cares about the game of life more so than the game of basketball. I mean, the evidence is there that they care more than everyone else. But in this case, Coach K dodging Tim Miles, number 5 on the fraud power rankings. Number 4, you're not gonna like this one, but it's always tough for me when I put people I like on the fraud power rankings. It's not fun. It's not a pleasant experience, but we have a job to do, Tate. We have an audience to serve. And I have to call out frauds when I see them. And at number 4, I have the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Oh yeah, perfect.
It's not just that Arkansas lost by 22 to Oklahoma. It's we're in year 3, I believe, of Musselman.
The Muss Bus, yeah.
Of the Muss Bus era. And to borrow a phrase from Tate Frazier, and I like the guy.
I like the guy.
I do like the guy.
I love the guy.
We love the guy. But we need to start having the discussion about Eric Musselman's non-conference scheduling and how this man is terrified to play basically any team with a pulse in the non-conference. And they just like rack up wins. It happened last year. They start out 9-0. They meet a team that can actually play a little basketball in Missouri. Missouri beats them at home. Musselman loses his mind, gets ejected from that game, if you remember. And then away we go. And then Arkansas loses it, and then Arkansas ends up in the Elite 8 though. So it worked out for him. This year, same sort of thing. Start out 9-0, play a bunch of cupcakes, beat up on a bunch of nobodies, finally play a team with a pulse in Oklahoma, lose by 22,
get ejected.
Musselman gets ejected. So now they're 9-1.
Man's got a formula.
So on the one hand, you say this is stupid because like, one, I want to watch Arkansas basketball. I want to get excited about Arkansas basketball. I'm not going to get excited about Arkansas basketball when they play. I'm gonna read through their non-conference schedule in case some of our listeners might not be aware of this. These are the teams they played: Mercer, Gardner-Webb, Northern Iowa, Kansas State, Cincinnati, Penn, Central Arkansas, Little Rock, and Charlotte. Those are the 9 that they beat, going 9-0. And then they played Oklahoma and lost by 22 on a neutral court. I want to get excited about Arkansas, but it's hard to do that as a guy that like is just a neutral observer if you're not playing big games, if you're not playing important games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with the Muss Bus, he plays the long con. He's a sandbagger. We've already talked about this before.
Yes.
He's a second half sandbagger, so I think he doesn't show his hand until we get into January, February, March, which is a little bit NBA of him, a little bit pro of him, but at the same time, I'm not really buying into this team as a legit Final Four.
I'm not either. But if you wanted to, you would say, as I said last year, the same sort of pattern emerge where they didn't play anybody. They go 9 and it was literally 9-0, and then in game 10 they lose and Musk gets ejected.
Yeah,
that's the exact same thing happened last year.
So you're saying Elite Eight again?
Elite Eight maybe. So maybe you could talk yourself into it, but I'm saying we need big games. We need fun games. We need Arkansas to like what in a perfect world Arkansas takes that Elite Eight run last year, spins it into like the non-conference this year, and they're playing in big marquee games that like you and I are talking about, and instead the only game we're going to talk about in their entire non-conference schedule is them losing by 22.
Yeah, Muss is trying to play the game where we keep our high ranking.
Yes,
we keep people off the scent.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Turgeon tried to do. I mean, this is a move that can be made, and you respect it at some level. But you're right. You got to get out there if you really want to be like an NBA pipeline, like they talk about. They want to be an NBA pipeline. You got to play and.
You got to step up.
You got to play Kentucky or whoever, and someone.
I understand doing it as you're building the program, but we're in year 3, so next year it's Muss's program. The program is now built.
Play UCLA. Go to the West Coast.
UCLA.
Yeah,
do it. We'll make the calls for you. We'll call UCLA.
Yeah.
We'll be the conduit. Just like we'll set it up. We'll make the game. You know what? We should make the game, and then just call both of them and say you guys
tell them where it is. Yeah.
Or do like a blind date deal where it's like you call Arkansas and ask them to meet us for dinner. We call UCLA and ask them to meet us for dinner.
And they show up.
And then we don't show up.
Yeah.
And then they show up and they just.
We have cameras there. We're like Ashton Kutcher. We're watching them. Yeah.
Now kiss.
Muscleman and Midcourt like.
All right, number 3 on the fraud power rankings, and boy, if it hurt me to throw the bus on there.
That's okay.
This one's going to be tough. This one is a real friend of the program who you want to talk about twisting the knife and piling on and all that. I'll just say it. Mike Rutherford.
Yeah.
At number 3. And here's why, Tate.
Well, poor Mike.
I hate doing it. I really do. But Mike Rutherford, for those who aren't aware, he invented this holiday in Louisville basketball circles called DePaul Day. Now, he invented this because when DePaul and Louisville were back in the old Big East together, it was a guaranteed win for Louisville. Louisville always beat DePaul. He for whatever reason thought this was funny. He turned it into I don't know how to describe it. It was a bit, you know, it was just like something that like he's like, Louisville might be a disaster right now, but thank God we got DePaul coming up. We're gonna win. We're gonna get right back on track, and away we go. And that's been his thing for a long time, even before we even had Mike on the show. I remember reading him when he was writing for SB Nation like 10 years ago, and he would make jokes about playing DePaul and how we're going to beat DePaul and all that kind of stuff. So going into the DePaul, so first of all, Louisville played DePaul this past week. They was it Friday or Saturday? I forget when they played. I think it might have been Friday. Let me pull it up. I should have had my notes better prepared. They played. Let me scroll down. Find Louisville's schedule. Where's Louisville on this damn list? Louisville played on Friday. Yeah, I was right. My instinct was right. They played on Friday. Rutherford going into the game. DePaul has one of the better teams they've had in a while. I think they're like 8-1 or something.
Yeah, they have a good year.
As we know, it's not going great.
Hot seat.
Already lost to Furman at home this season. It's not going great for Louisville. Mike Rutherford said, "Have no fear. It is DePaul Day, and the way this works is we beat DePaul no matter what. And every single year he says we're going to beat DePaul. Don't worry about it. This is the first DePaul because they're in different conferences now.
Yeah,
so they don't play each other all the time. This is the first time they've played each other since 2013, Tate. So this is the first DePaul Day they've had since 2013. Rutherford writes a blog post explaining why DePaul Day matters, how this is like great for Louisville basketball, how even though we lost our athletic director and president in the same day, even though Chris Mack sucks,
we're okay. We're playing DePaul.
We're playing DePaul. Everything's going to be fine. We're going to win. They did not win. They lost to DePaul at home. Rutherford wrote this in his blog, in the pregame. But every DePaul Day, I write a post like this, and every year people flip out, call it a jinx, and talk about what they're going to do to me if we lose. This also does not faze me, for it is DePaul Day, and on DePaul Day, fear is as impossible to find as an active University of Louisville president or athletic director. They may win big, they may win small, but there's one absolute certainty when it comes to this evening: the Louisville Cardinals will defeat the DePaul Blue Demons. And then they did not. And Rutherford said, he put on Twitter, "It's over. DePaul Day is dead. I'm dead. We're all dead. There is no hope." So there you go. DePaul Day is officially dead.
R.I.P. Mike Rutherford. R.I.P. the Louisville Cardinals.
And that's
I mean, what a rough stretch. I mean, it really does go to show though that like they did Rick Pitino wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes.
Like when you do someone wrong, you know, like the karma on the other side is going to get you, you know? And Rick was right. We should have been championing the whole cause and just be like, Rick was right.
Hashtag Rick was right.
Rick was right.
Get it going.
And speaking of
every time Louisville loses, just retweet the score and put hashtag Rick was right.
Rick was right. Right now, Rick Pitino just tweeted, for all those that are asking, we have not been notified that anything has happened to our game versus Seton Hall on Saturday. To my knowledge, the game is still on.
Oh, okay.
The game is canceled. But this is what Rick Pitino...
Oh, really?
The game is canceled.
The game has
been canceled. Rick Pitino just tweeted this.
But he said it's not.
Jeff Goodman responds. He says, hey, Rick, if you had responded to any of my texts or calls over the last 4 years, I would have given you the heads up. That's what he responded to Rick Pitino.
Goodman said that?
Yeah. So that's what's happening online right now. Coach Rick Pitino is trying to play the game despite it being canceled. So he's back.
Pitino's going to show up.
And guess what? Rick was right. They should have played the
Rick
game.
Was right. Yeah, they should have played the game. So number 3, Mike Rutherford. Sorry, Mike. But
sorry, Mike.
That's the same.
Well, I brought up Rick Pitino just so Mike can remember that he was right, because Mike was like, don't get rid of Rick. Rick's our guy.
I don't think that helps at this point. I think like there's the only thing that will help is
Rick coming back.
Dude, that's an off-season task for us. I can't fix Louisville basketball right now. I'll deal with that in the off-season.
I think I'm 5 years away from wanting to fix it. I think maybe the shakeup is that we trade Louisville for Maryland.
I think so.
I think that's good for all
in the
parties.
Big Ten, yeah.
And I think Louisville would dominate the Big Ten.
Come on.
Dominate.
Come on.
Dominate.
Come on. Can't even beat Furman at home. Come on.
Trying to up the value.
All right, number 2 on my list of the fraud power rankings this week. Atheists.
Hear that, Jim?
Yep. Atheists, the frauds. Memphis basketball is back. Penny said it would happen.
True.
The atheists, they laughed at him. They said, Penny said, God's got us. We need your prayers, city of Memphis. Shower us with prayers.
Did you pray? I prayed.
I did.
I prayed.
I was on my knees every night praying for Memphis basketball to be back.
Facts.
Atheists laughed. They said, why would in this world we live in, with all of the stuff going on in this world, with the famine, with the climate change, with the pandemic,
with the carbon,
with
so much carbon,
with the supply chain issues we're having.
Yes.
Supply chain, like no one even understands it.
There's no
the economy. No one even understands it. We're putting cameras in front of economists and we're like, the economy's messed up. What's going on? And the guy's like, I don't know.
He's like,
and they're like, well, if you don't know, I don't know. And this is the world we live in, Tate. No prayers for any of that. All prayers for the Memphis Tigers.
Yes.
And the atheists were disgusted. They couldn't take it. They said, this is proof that there is no God. Who's laughing now?
God. And the rest of his disciples.
The Memphis Tigers are
honestly Penny Hardaway. I mean, huge to pull that card, you know, to pull that card. It really is a test of faith and it's test of the man. You know what I mean? To say, I know God's got us, but also I need your prayers, and then to deliver to beat the number 6 team in the country. And if they beat Tennessee on Saturday.
That's how it starts, dude.
Merry Christmas.
Fast
Merry
forward
Christmas,
like 5 years, and Penny's got like a convent in the sticks of Mississippi somewhere, and he's the bag one.
Preaching the good word.
There it is. All right, number 1 on the fraud power rankings, and man, I was excited to do. This was when I was putting my notes together for the show. This took up half of my notes. If you look at the document in front of me, half of the notes are about this guy. Number 1 on the fraud power rankings this week, Reggie Miller.
Oh, wow.
Who is like number 1 first ballot Hall of Fame fraud on every fraud power rankings for me.
Yeah.
He is.
You do not like this.
I am the only 90s kid from Indianapolis that does not like Reggie Miller. And here's why he's on the fraud power rankings this week, Tate, because Steph Curry breaks the all-time,
my guy.
What was the record? Made 3-pointers.
Made 3-pointers.
A record that nobody cared about until Steph Curry broke it, basically.
When Ray Allen broke Reggie, we cared for like that one night. Yeah,
I guess so.
And that was 10 years ago, which is crazy.
Steph Curry sets the new made threes record in Madison Square Garden, and in the post game celebration, whatever, he's holding up the jersey 2,947 Curry. To his right is the man who had the record up going into that game, Ray Allen. Ray Allen is Shuttlesworth. I don't know why Ray Allen is holding up his jersey. Ray Allen could have just been there. He didn't need to hold up a jersey.
Yeah.
Someone gave him a jersey. And
he brought his own Celtics jersey, which
he just had it in his pocket.
I also think that was really good because, I told you about the Hall of Fame earlier this year where, Ray Allen was with the Miami Heat camp and then KG and Pierce were together and they were the Boston camp. So I think
him wearing the Celtics jersey.
Or him like these are where my loyalties lie.
I got you.
So that was good.
So he's holding up his jersey to Steph Curry's right, and on Steph Curry's left is Reggie Miller.
Who called the game? We gotta say that. It wasn't like Reggie Miller was just like in Madison Square Garden being like, guys.
But Reggie Miller was gonna find his way there no matter what. And I saw this picture, I fell out of my chair. I was like, in what world, in what other circumstance have you ever seen the guy who's third place like shoehorn his way in and be like, can I get in this picture too? And they just allow it to happen. I don't understand how this happens. I don't understand how this happens. The Reggie Miller, oh my God. I don't understand like why first of all, I didn't realize we cared about the 3-point thing. This is not like a record that like when if LeBron can pass Kareem's all-time scoring list,
which he will.
Career,
that's cool. That's worth celebrating. That's worth like, I think it's just people have a reverence for Steph. And so you just want to like, you know, pause stuff and like talk about how awesome he is, which I understand that whole point, but like, don't pretend like we cared about this record before this happened. Right.
But he changed the game so much that now we do care.
We do care.
Yeah.
That's
what the whole idea, I guess, is. But you're right. I mean, it was definitely like, I felt bad for Steph because every single game for the past 4 games, like he was 16 behind the first time that it really started picking up steam, you know?
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of Warriors people, you know, that told me that Steph was going to make 16 threes that night and break Klay's record, because Klay has the record for the most threes in a game, 15. Yeah. So like he's been dealing with this kind of ridiculous, you know, pressure and people like, this is going to be this moment, this is going to be this is going to be that. So I'm happy for Steph that he got it over with. I think that was like the big relief. And it takes away from the team when all that's happening. So it kind of is like a major distraction. And it's all the media, right? I mean, Steph cares about breaking this record, but also you're probably 100% right. He's like, yeah, I mean.
Was this a record that anyone knew?
I think he knew. He knew as a 3-point shooter. And I'm sure Klay, like, Ray Allen knew when he was breaking Reggie's record, but when Reggie was setting the record, no one cared that Reggie was setting the record.
But now we care, and I guess that's my whole point. Why Reggie's a fraud is that like
Reggie plays it like when he was playing, he was Steph Curry.
He was a pioneer.
Yes,
he's an icon. He's like, I invented all of this stuff that you guys love, and when really it's like
Steph helped him because Steph was like, hey, when I was a kid, I liked Reggie Miller.
Yes.
He reminded me of me and how I played. Which if you played shooting guard, which I played shooting, I mean any shooting guard, you're like, I respect what Reggie Miller's doing. He was the first guy running around screens like crazy. You know what I mean? Like you got what he was doing.
I mean, come on, dude. Throwing some game tape of the Hoosiers.
Yeah, I know.
One time for me,
look. At the end of the day, I get the Reggie Miller hate because I'm a Jordan man and I hated Reggie Miller. And Reggie Miller tried to act like he was Michael Jordan. It's like, dude, you're not. Like,
well, I'm glad you brought that up,
guy.
dude, because this is why I get fired up about Reggie Miller. It's like growing up in Indy, I could see it. None of my other friends could see it. I could see it. I'm smarter than all of them.
Yeah.
This guy is not a great basketball player. He's good. He's good.
He's good. He's good.
And I like him. No. He's no, he was good, but like when he was on the, I thought you were joking when we did the show when they released the top 75 NBA players
when he made the list,
years, and you told me that he made the list. I thought you were like trolling me. I couldn't believe that he actually made the list. This man made 5 All-Star teams in 18 years. 5. He made 1 finals appearance in his entire 18 years, and he was the second best player on his team because Jalen Rose was doing everything for that Pacers team in 2000. I don't understand where this man never made a second team All-NBA, Tate. He never made a first team All-NBA. And he's one of the 75 best players ever, just because, and the only reason, as we've talked about before, is because now when you fast forward to 2021, 22, shooting threes is like the way you win basketball games. So everyone now looks back with rose-colored glasses on Reggie Miller's career and is like, was Reggie underrated actually?
Yeah.
And as a kid who grew up watching the Pacers, I'm here to tell you he was not. He was overrated at every turn. And he sucked.
All I'm saying is I want consistency. And if you're going to view Reggie Miller like that, then you need to view Hubert Davis like that. Because Hubert Davis, second all-time, 45% 3-point shooter, second in NBA history. So if you're
Reggie Miller,
you're going to play that game, do it to Hubert Davis.
All he could do was score. Like that was what he was like. He would shoot threes, right? And
he shot a lot.
This was his way of scoring point. He didn't do much else. He was a
clutch.
rebounding machine.
He was clutch though. We like that.
Please. He was a scorer who averaged 18 points a game his entire career. He's ninth on the.
You're 100% right about the top 75. I mean, it's like, because it's difference between like the NBA top 75 and like basketball top 75. But if it's NBA top 75, like I'd take Vince Carter over Reggie Miller.
Here's how stupid this career made threes record is anyway, by the way. Vince Carter's 6th on the list. Vince Carter.
Yeah, because Vince Carter played 20 years in the NBA.
He's 6th
22.
on the, I mean, like, Vince Carter
is history.
LeBron is 11th on the most threes made.
Yeah.
And what I guess I'm saying is like, don't pretend like this. I mean, this is like.
Well, it's also like James Harden in 2 seasons will pass the number that Steph just set the record with. You know what I mean? Like that's how far we're shooting up.
Yes.
And Clay.
Yes.
If he gets
when Harden passes Reggie, is Reggie going to be there like holding his jersey and like
no.
and clap for him and be like, congratulations on 3rd place?
Speaking of James Harden, I'm gonna get ahead of it on the show quickly. This is a little nugget because we have college basketball, real basketball fans on the show. But here's the NBA. Here's show business. James Harden for Ben Simmons.
That's the trade you're making.
That's happening. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Harden's out. Harden wants his own team. He wants 30 shots again. Philadelphia is his best option. He might try to go back to Houston apparently, but James Harden, Ben Simmons.
I love it. I love Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving on the same team.
I love it
all together.
Well, Kyrie's coming back.
I love it. Great. Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense for Kyrie. How is Kyrie coming back?
Plant-based vaccine.
What? I can't. Is that true?
True.
Is that actually true, Jim?
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah.
What?
He said he'd be open to taking it.
A plant-based vaccine?
Yeah. He's getting it, and he's going to come back.
Wait, explain that to me.
I don't know.
What?
You didn't want a normal injection?
Apparently, the normal one has.
Is there meat?
That's what I was about to say.
Did you get the beef or the chicken?
Yeah, I think I got the fish. I got Johnson & Johnson. It's spoiled.
The fish. Anyway, put a cap on the fraud power rankings.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller, not even the best shooter to ever wear a Pacers uniform. That was Peja Stojakovic. Not even the best scorer to wear a Pacers uniform.
Chris Mullin
also wore a Pacers
Chris
uniform.
Mullin is the best shooter in Pacers.
Sam Perkins.
Chuck Person.
Dude, not even the best Pacer of all time. He gets that credit. George McGinnis.
Yes.
Very clearly the best Pacer that ever lived. I just like it makes me want to pull my hair out because like Reggie Miller, like the city of Indianapolis, like put this guy on a pedestal. And was
You're
like,
right.
He's our hero.
Detlef Schrempf.
We can find another hero. There will be another hero. Don't worry.
Dude.
He'll come along. And I don't know when he'll come along, but maybe
that,
it's Malcolm Brogdon.
Tweet that out.
I don't know.
Chris Mullin is the best shooter to play for the Pacers. That's a fact.
Paige is a better shooter than Reggie, for real.
Chuck Person. The rifleman.
I mean, Peja played like 20 games for the Pacers, I think.
Oh no, I was gonna say like I can't count Peja.
Travis
I love
Best.
Peja.
Yeah.
Look at it. I mean, there's
Jeff. I take Jeff Foster. Okay.
Rick Smits.
Rick Smith. Why not? Yeah. Reggie putting himself in the picture. I was disgusted by that. I don't know. That's like, I mean, like because it's not even the record's not even that important in the first place.
The only thing I will say is maybe in the idea of this, it's like 3's better than 2, you know?
Oh, so you wanted 3 guys?
3 guys.
No,
That's the only thing I can think of.
No,
there's like a symbol behind it.
No, I'm just like I want someone else to join me in this crusade. That like the only reason Reggie Miller's we look at his career as though like
no, I mean you're not wrong.
Important is because 3s are valued more now than they were. I guess they're worth more now with inflation. 3s are worth more than they were back in the day. And he does a media gig, so he's on television all the time, just talking about like
his career,
how great he was,
and what he did.
Career.
Yeah, he's controlling the narrative.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
that is it.
And I see right through it. And I remember when his sister was better than him, and
Cheryl, shout out Cheryl Miller.
And I remember like that. This is the guy.
Cheryl's still better than him.
I remember that his sister was better than him. He flopped all the time, and he never ever won anything with the Pacers ever, except he beat the Knicks a couple times. So like people in New York talked about him more, which again is like narrative based because he told Spike Lee he chokes. So then all the New York media took it, and like I see through it all.
Do you think that if we go back in time and Donnie Nelson takes Steve Alford instead of Reggie Miller, that Steve Alford is the 3rd? Do you think that Steve Alford?
I think that was a sliding doors moment. I think so,
dude.
Because where did Alford go? He went to the Mavericks, I think.
I don't even know. I think he just disappeared. I think he just fell off the face of the planet because he was so hurt that
that's
he took
the
the UCLA kid.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was crazy that it happened. I mean, Donnie Nelson.
Do you think that's why Steve Alford ran UCLA into the ground? Was payback for the Reggie?
Oh my,
decision?
you're right.
Do you think that's what?
That is why he did that.
It was the Mavericks. Wow, what a poll for me to remember that. Steve Alford was drafted by the Mavericks. All right. What else is there? That's the fraud power rankings. You want to?
I have one other thing about that Steph ceremony. Did you guys see the picture of Spike Lee taking the picture of Steph?
Yeah, that was
laying on the ground.
Dude, I mean,
amazing.
He like basically shot like a mini movie, like following stuff around, and it's like it just goes to show that the Knicks are done. Look at that.
So good.
Yeah.
The Knicks are done, Jim.
The Knicks are done.
They just said the Knicks are done.
That's how Spike Lee is like, I would rather just celebrate greatness with just Steph than even worry about my Knicks.
No, what he's actually doing, he's filming Reggie and this whole thing that Reggie's trying to be a part of it. This is his revenge for Reggie doing the choke.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point.
Knicks are back.
Knicks are back.
Reggie Miller averaged fewer points per game than Antoine Jameson and Latrell Sprewell.
Well, because people don't respect Antoine Jameson, but Antoine Jameson's a beast.
Is he a top 75 player?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
better than Reggie Miller.
Who had more assists?
I mean, come on. Probably Antoine Jameson.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember Reggie passing too much. I mean,
I don't remember Antoine's teammates.
Reggie and more assists.
Dude, he played with the Wizards, the Cavs. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Come on. Those are playoff teams.
No.
What other notes did I have? I think I made all my points. Yeah, Reggie's number one fraud power ranks. Oh, did you see the picture? Speaking of pictures from that ceremony, Del Curry. Are we
good for
Del? Are we keeping? Is that a situation we're going to monitor? Del Curry, just his
city boy. He's up.
He's the big city.
He's living the life. I mean, it's honestly probably a relief for him that like it's all out there. You know, he's like everybody knows. Like he's kind of like Future. You know what I mean? You know, Future like he left Sierra and then he can just do whatever he wants to. And everyone's like he's a bad guy, you know, but he's just kind of like
Which one's Future?
What's Sierra?
And
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Yes. Came in and then was like, I'm
the Russell Wilson married to Sierra now?
In the world of good guy and bad guy, Future's a bad guy and Russell Wilson's a good guy.
Sierra
was with Future, has a kid.
And now she's with
she's with Russell Wilson, who is now fathering that kid.
What does that mean? What is fathering?
Well, he like just
lives with it.
Yeah. I mean, you know.
I don't think that's what fathering means.
Well, I mean, he's like
he's pulling the DNA out of the kid.
But Future's the
putting
dad.
Plant-based DNA.
Future's the dad. Future's the dad. And that's how Del Curry's acting, you know. He's out in the streets, he's a single man. I mean, I think he was just taking pictures with fans, but it was a great moment for him. And Sonya was there. You know,
right.
And she's got a new boo.
Taking pictures with fans, please.
Taking pictures with fans.
Who's her new boo?
Huh?
Who's her new boo?
Pete Davidson, right?
Yeah.
I heard. Yeah.
Future.
All right, it's Jim's birthday, so we're going to, before we get to shoutouts and closeouts, we're turning it over to Jim. Jim, I tasked you with the idea of on your birthday birthing your own segment on the show that we can tap into.
Nice.
Thank you. Just what I wanted. Some more work to think about and to do.
Is the name of the segment Gym Class? Because I
guess so. I don't know. We're working on it.
My one idea, which you can shoot down, and it seems like you did because I'm looking at the graphic.
He's already shut it down.
My idea. Spend a lot of money on that.
Graphic. I wanted the Gym Rat of the Week, where
I mean that could be in Gym Class.
Yeah, it's just like the guy who's like basically white trash that college basketball. The guy with the mullet is Matthew Meyer every time, every single week. He's like, so who's this kid on Baylor with the mullet? I like this guy.
Brady Manick.
It's Brady Manick. He's my Gym Rat of the Week.
Who's that other guy on LMU?
Oh yeah, the New Zealand
guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Pick those guys. So what do we got, Jim?
So we have big news about Donda.
All right, let's go.
First of all, they're in Vegas for the Tarkanian Classic
this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
When we're going to Vegas. I'm going.
They're playing tonight.
Tomorrow.
It is so hard to figure out their schedule. Like it also says tonight they were supposed to be in the John Wall Invitational in Raleigh,
nice.
but they are in Vegas though.
What?
They are in Vegas.
So how do you find their schedule? Where do you go to find their schedule?
I asked Tyler to look for it.
Tyler, where do you find their schedule? Just
Twitter
mostly. Kanye's Instagram.
You gotta listen to Kanye's album. He drops hidden clues throughout each song.
He's updating Donda the album with game times.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime Video. Kanye and Drake. So yeah, they're going to be there. We figured that out because they're actually there. I found an update on that. Also, they are
insane.
playing in the Bronx December 27th. And I had said
You gotta
Patterson,
go.
New Jersey.
You gotta go.
But it's actually the Patrick School, formerly the St. Patrick School. You
Where
guys
Kyrie
laughed at.
played.
Yeah, former NBA player Kyrie Irving went there.
Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
Is that where
Al
Derek
Harrington,
Dexter
Character?
Strickland, aka Baden Jackson.
Baden Jackson, Mike Nardi,
Oh, nice.
and another former Villanova point guard, Corey Fisher.
Oh, I love Corey Fisher. You remember the coach there during the documentary when Nick Richards wasn't wearing his Nikes? He was like wearing some different shoes. He was like wearing like Adidas shoes, and the coach was like, "Come here, like, don't you ever not wear Nikes?" Like, I mean, they're a serious school. They really bought into the whole branding.
It's the Patrick School. You said,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's Derek Character too for Louisville legend Derek Character.
Yeah,
he was
nice.
He was my class. I remember him. He was
By the way,
New Jersey,
Corey Fisher also scored 105 points in a summer league game.
dude. Corey Fisher is incredible. It's a great score.
23 for 28 from three. Scored out of their 138 points.
was Reggie
this
Miller
game.
at this game holding up his jersey?
I was gonna say, should Corey Fisher have been there in
Yeah,
Madison?
Corey Fisher's there.
He's like, I actually did this. This is my trend.
Oh, you mentioned the sneakers. They all wear Yeezys, Donda Academy. Some low tops.
Are Yeezys good shoes? Are they?
Yes, they're comfortable.
So are
They're comfortable.
They look like heavy
but not
duty
for basket.
socks.
But not for basketball.
should we be on like Zion watch for these kids that they're gonna just blow out their shoes playing?
No, I mean, I will say I know that Kanye and D Rose made a shoe together that was like a Yeezy basketball shoe, and I think that basketball shoe they wear, some of them wear the basketball shoe. So like, there is one version that is specifically meant for basketball.
Does D Rose wear it?
No, he still wears the D.
I was
He
gonna
still
say,
I was
still
gonna
has
say,
his own. Like Adidas was deciding, do we give D Rose like the 14 or do we just like put him under Yeezy? You know, and they gave him the 14.
Okay, gotcha.
But Yeezy, and Mike Conley, we talked. You know what I mean? Yeezy was trying to get anybody to make a basketball shoe.
true.
He just wanted to make a basketball. So they have at least one shoe that is a silhouette that should work for basketball.
Okay, all right.
That's one thing we know.
Cool.
bragging about making D Rose's basketball equipment not the best move.
Yeah.
Just saying. By the way, you said Zion watch. Zion Cruz. The name
Yeah.
starts with
Yeah,
a Z, ends with a Z.
Donda Academy. Yeah.
Donda.
Donda.
Do you have a
But he had
jersey yet?
transferred from the Patrick School.
Oh, really?
Revenge game.
So this is gonna be a ooh.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that coach is gonna be like, we're picking him up full court.
Ooh. I like this.
I like that.
Is he the best player? Zion Cruz?
They got that other
He's got
guy.
the-
Ron
Dillingham,
Dillingham.
Oh, Dillingham, the kid going to
NC State.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
5-star. New AI.
And then TJS news. Kind of worried. He hasn't posted a new solo trick shot since November 3rd.
Whoa. Is he offline?
But no, he had a birthday last week. He posted
Oh,
a
you
picture
almost-
of that. So, he deserves a month off.
You
at
guys
least.
are
How old is
you
he?
guys are the same sign.
How old is he?
22.
Oh my.
He also turned his living room into a basketball court.
Dude, you do the math. Jim's old enough to.
I might be.
Dude, you might be his father.
Are you his dad?
I might be.
Oh my god.
Huge, yeah.
So he hasn't posted because he's just been celebrating his birthday. Is that what we're
Yeah.
doing?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
He deserves a month off.
Okay.
Anyone
Alright.
whose birthday
All right.
does.
Anyone that has a birthday deserves a month off.
Is that it? That's all
Yeah,
we
I
got?
guess that's it for now.
All right. Well,
Honestly, I learned a
happy
lot.
birthday, Jim.
Happy birthday, Jim.
I by the way, for your birthday, I brought in I wanted to surprise you, but you saw me bring it in. I brought in some balloons.
Mhm.
The
40.
the big 4-0 balloons. But then Fat Mark brought in a Costco cake. And I brought in a
For
500
yourself or for me?
Yeah, I brought in
No, Titus is actually going to eat.
I'm
that
gonna eat the
cake
whole
in
thing.
front of
I'm
you.
gonna watch- you're gonna watch me
It's
do
also
what?
10 o'clock in the morning.
I brought in 500
Jim's
plastic
like couldn't find a donut shop.
There's an empty cake also in your car probably that you ate on the
Yeah,
way
yeah, I
here. You
brought
bought
two.
two.
I
Yeah,
brought
it's
two.
Costco. You bought like 10.
I bought at Costco when I bought the cake, I bought the plastic forks too, 500 plastic forks, so you could experience what I did, where you just dive into the cake
You just keep
one bite at a time and then
and
toss
throw the fork away. You
Keep
just
tossing
keep
the fork.
new fork.
Oh, nice.
That's what we're gonna do.
Where's the milk?
Oh my god.
I'm not eating that without milk. You crazy? We had this problem once before at the Ringer. They got us cookies and they didn't get us milk. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I had to walk to Rite Aid.
This is literally.
Are you 40 or like
No,
8?
I-
You're like, you need
You need
strong
milk.
bones? Or
What
you
am I
like,
gonna do?
No, I've lived through this. These are like meetings that we'd have. Like someone would come in with like a cake, someone's birthday at a podcast meeting, and Jim's like, "No milk."
Yeah.
you got osteoporosis?
What do you
dude?
guys?
What do you need
what
milk
you guys,
for?
Heathens?
What do you need milk for? Dude? What the hell?
We want to.
Chocolate cake.
Which
You're
one
not
of
gonna
us
have
is from the
milk or anything?
Midwest,
Coffee?
dude?
You got coffee?
Yeah, I got coffee. Kyle was supposed to be here, but Kyle had to work. He had to record, so he was going to be here. He's going to eat some of that
He's gonna
cake.
show up
But
What is he working on?
Well, we'll take the cake somewhere tonight, and we'll have the cake tonight. But I just want to make it available to you. I'll go get milk, dude. We'll run to the grocery and go get you milk.
Yeah.
For God's sakes.
get him
Anything
like
else?
Thought that
want?
counts.
get him like 2%. Just
Yeah.
like
I like Entenmann's, first of all. And yeah, chocolate or vanilla is fine.
Jeez. All right, let's wrap this up. Get the hell out of here. Go celebrate Jim's birthday.
Honestly.
What shout outs do we have, Tate?
shout out, honestly, to Penny Hardaway. Shout out to God for making it happen. Also, shout out to Wayne Ellington, who was my 3-point god. Last night, the Lakers hit a game-tying shot to take it to overtime, and then our guy Austin Reeves hit a game-winning shot in overtime.
He's killing, right?
Yeah.
Austin Reeves?
And LeBron gave him a nickname,
Oh no. What?
AR-15. Not bad.
That's not bad.
AK-47. Shout out Andre Kirilenko. I mean, that was the best nickname, AK-47. But I like AR-15, and he hits the game-winning shot for the Lakers. So shout out to Wayne Ellington. Also shout out AR-15.
I like laughing at Bill's the weird stuff that Bill does more than anyone else. But the one thing I gotta tip my cap to Bill was when he came up with PG-13 and he got Paul George to change his number from 24 to 13.
I still can't
Because
believe that Paul George
like
did that.
he actually did that.
Yeah.
That
He
should
actually-
be Bill's legacy. That
No,
should be like the
that's
number
like
one
the-
thing on his.
Well, but we're not sure it was for the better, Like,
Probably not, but like the fact that you got an NBA player to be like, damn, that's tight.
that's good branding. I mean, let's just be honest. He got LeBron to do the decision. I mean, that's
yeah.
that's pretty epic.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't him. It was like a mailbag question. But the fact that like someone read that mailbag in LeBron's camp and then did the
They still
decision
did it, yeah.
and thought it was going to be a hit. Crazy. Good time.
Speaking of LeBron, I'm going to shout out Bronny James, who I saw this report.
When's he going to Donda?
Yeah, that's a great question. Reports out of the
Yes.
LeBron James camp are that he's considering 4 schools right now, Tate. I don't know how credible these reports
I
are,
saw this.
but that's the word. The first 2 might not surprise you. Duke and Ohio State, the 2 schools that LeBron went to.
Mhm.
Um,
LeBron's alma maters.
and Akron. LeBron went to all 3 of them.
Yes.
He studied at all 3. He got
Mhm.
undergrad at Akron, I think. Then he went to he got his law degree at Duke. And then went
Yes.
to med school at Ohio State, I think.
Yes.
That's how it worked.
Yes.
Duke, Ohio State, Tennessee, and Texas are the other 2 that are being floated for Bronny James. So interesting. Tennessee doesn't
Tennessee
make a lot of sense for me.
makes 0 sense, but also makes all the sense in the world.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like when I saw that report, obviously the other 3 did not nothing.
Does
Stirred nothing.
does LeBron have beef with Penny or something where like Bronny would go to Tennessee to troll Penny or something?
with Rick Barnes. There's something going on there, and
There's
it's
something going
also
Texas makes sense.
Texas does make
checks out,
sense,
yeah.
and it's also if you're Bronny, maybe you think to yourself, if I go to somewhere like Tennessee, like can't tell me nothing. Right? I bring so much cachet by going to your school. Like this is literally my
That's a
team,
great
and I
point.
think if you're Tennessee, you're like, we'll give him the ball this year, and we'll have LeBron James come to games, and that's worth the brand play. All in all,
I think it would not surprise me if LeBron got like some sort of got his people together and had him run like some sort of algorithm that figures out the best program where Bronny could go and have a chance of being the best player at that program.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Where like he owns the program. Duke, that's not going to happen, obviously. Ohio State, that's not going to happen. Tennessee is Bernard King, Allen Houston,
yeah,
Ernie Grunfeld,
yeah, all the above. But like you said, I mean, if it's
Grant Williams, like who, you know what I mean? It's like maybe they did the
Wayne Chisholm,
yeah, maybe they did the algorithm, the Q score ratings, and they were like,
yeah,
all right,
he can be the Michael Jordan of Tennessee.
yeah, there's a world in which you could be the Michael Jordan of Tennessee.
And if you have a whole state behind you like Tennessee,
yeah,
it might be a good market to go for. Maybe LeBron's looking at Taylor Swift and he's like, Nashville, You know, I need that market. I want that market. I need that T-Swift market. I need Knoxville.
Someone's in the circle. Like, should we tell him Knoxville's like 3 hours from Knoxville?
No.
Don't tell him.
No. Same crowd.
Speaking of guys who are the Michael Jordan of their school, also want to shout out Marshall Henderson, who was at the Ole Miss
with
game
Morgan
last night,
Freeman,
sitting courtside with Morgan Freeman, and Ted Valentine was on the call.
Amazing.
So the stars were out in Oxford.
Do you think that Morgan Freeman, his best friend in the building, is Ted Valentine, as far as like the person he's probably talked to the most over the years there? I mean, Ted Valentine loves Morgan Freeman, has to go up and talk to him. And Morgan Freeman also, you talk about college basketball and having the respect of the artists, the greatest artists in the world. The fact that Morgan Freeman goes to Ole Miss games, I mean, are you kidding me?
It's a huge W for college.
It's a huge W. Yeah. Remember when Katie Holmes went to that Notre Dame NCAA tournament game?
Yes.
Major W. Jennifer Lawrence, Louisville.
I remember.
Yeah. Ashley Judd, Kentucky. Rachel McAdams, North Carolina.
Nick Lachey.
Will Ferrell, North Carolina.
Yeah. Yep.
Come on.
I remember.
Tony Romo, Duke.
I want to shout out Steve Forbes, who brought his walk-ons to the post-game presser after they beat VMI, and said he wanted to thank them for all the hard work they put in. As a fellow walk-on myself, shout out Coach Forbes, getting it done at Wake Forest, playing a very easy schedule himself, but he's smart. But he's building the program. You're allowed to do that when you're building the program.
No, and they got a big blowout win over Virginia Tech, and one of those walk-ons, Miles Lester is his name. He was in the press conference. He was one of the ones pictured there. He's a big fan of the show, friend of the program.
Oh, really?
He reached out and asked to come on the show at some point. So I told him, keep it up.
Keep it up, kid.
We might have to wake the nation.
How many trillions you got, Mile? That's what we got to keep an eye on.
We'll bring him on.
You got to get a few trillions before we can.
But I think that's the first time I've ever seen walk-ons in a press conference.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
They were like
for real.
They were all around him. It looked like they were going to go to war after they got done with the press conference.
Yeah,
it was amazing. Yeah.
It was great.
It was great. Great for the walk.
It looks like a picture though, like just the screenshot of it looks like he's about to throw them all under the bus.
Yeah. It looks like it's their fault.
It's like, guys, come here.
Yeah.
All of these guys,
they blew the game.
They blew it. I hate them all.
Bad scout.
He did not do that. Shout out Steve Forbes. Quickly, shout out to Indiana and Kansas, scheduled a home and home starting next year. That'll be fun, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Two places that think they invented basketball.
Well, and it's also very much so the Adidas top tier classic. It's basically like 1A, 1B.
Which again, not great for Louisville. Louisville's getting pushed to the side in the Adidas.
Too much of a headache.
In Indiana.
Too much of a headache. And it's too hot. You know what I mean? Like if you're Adidas, you don't want to be at Louisville when you got guys recording people. I mean, it's just too much.
Shout out to Coppin State, who forgot their jerseys versus Drexel and had to wear Drexel's practice jerseys.
But I thought this was a good idea because I think if you're Juan Dixon, it helps your case if people think you're the coach at Drexel. You know what I mean? Like Maryland people look into the game, they're like, "Oh wow,
Drexel's a higher program."
Wow. So Juan Dixon is now the coach at Drexel.
Coppin State is 1-14 right now.
Yeah,
and we don't want to talk about that.
No, we don't talk about. You're like, is Juan Dixon coaching Drexel? That's really good.
Speaking of Maryland, Mike Brady, Maryland. I'm throwing that out there. I just want to hear how it sounds. Mike Brady, Maryland would be the Brian Kelly to LSU move for Maryland. I don't know.
Yeah,
Under Armour. I don't know.
I like staying in the Under Armour family. Nick Cronin's still in the conversation because of Under Armour.
I'm going to wrap it up with this.
No, he's Jordan now. Never mind. He's out.
He's out. Games to watch Friday. Villanova at Creighton. Creighton always gives Villanova problems. Not always, but it does feel like once a year Creighton beats Villanova by 20.
Yeah, for sure.
And then Villanova beats him in the rematch, but no one ever wants to talk about that. We just only care about the one thing.
And it's Creighton's big win when we look at the resume.
Yeah. So that's happening. CBS Sports Classic on Saturday. We will be there. Will the UCLA Bruins be there? We don't know yet, but you and I will be there.
Yes.
Ohio State, Kentucky, North Carolina, UCLA. That's going to be awesome. Tennessee versus Memphis and Nashville's on Saturday. Gonzaga versus Texas Tech in Phoenix on Saturday. USC versus Georgia Tech in Phoenix on Saturday. And then I wanted to shout out Baylor's playing at Oregon on Saturday, and Oregon sucks and they're a big time fraud as we know. But every single number one this season, the first road game that they've played, they've lost, and this is Baylor's first true road game. So
loss,
something to monitor.
Yeah.
If Baylor loses to Oregon,
Duke's number one.
Duke's back to number one. Yeah.
Never thought it would be possible, but Duke's going to get back to number one. I hope North Carolina plays UCLA this weekend, but I'm excited to see Coach Cal. I know so you probably saw the media availability email. Coach Cal's limiting his media availability this weekend, so we're not going to get to talk to him. But yeah, that's going to be a big game.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything because I don't.
Yeah, you don't want to say anything.
It doesn't feel like a good situation for us.
It feels like Kentucky. This is almost a must-win for them.
All right, that's the show. Happy birthday to Jim. Let's go eat cake. Let's go celebrate Jim's birthday. And
Jim needs
celebrate Memphis basketball being back. We will enjoy the weekend, enjoy all the games. We'll see you guys next week.
Bang. Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.